right, here we go. In three, two. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is This Week in Sports. I'm Josh Jacko, my producer on the ones and twos. That's Caleb, my brother. And this is kind of a bittersweet moment, kind of uh, more of a somber episode, just in the fact that the Blue Jay season is over. We won our final game. We did everything that we could in the final series. We swept the Orioles, but because we left it down to the last second, um, we had to rely on some other teams to help us out, and it came right down to the last day of the year. We'll get into that. There's a lot going on in This Week in Sports, though. Other than that, the Oilers preseason still happening. NHL ramping up to start the season in about a week's time. CFL obviously still going on. Our Elks aren't doing that well. NFL, there was some big news in the NFL this past weekend. Tom Brady going back to New England to face the Pats for the first time in New England at Gillette Stadium, and the NBA has begun their preseason this weekend. So a lot going on. But obviously, the big news is the Toronto Blue Jays pull out the win yesterday. It was kind of a roller coaster. We were watching the game. Fuck, we had an amazing game. We put up 12 runs against the Orioles. George Springer led off the game with a solo home run, first batter of the game, and we were feeling good. It was a roller coaster of emotions yesterday because right from that Springer home run, the dopamine was flowing. We were having a great time. We were loving it because we just kept adding on runs. Not only did Springer have the leadoff home run, he also hit a grand slam, I believe, in the third inning, and that would really just sent us on our way. At that point, there was no doubt that we were going to take that game. And like I said, we put up 12 runs, but it wasn't just on us. We had to, like I said, rely on the Boston Red Sox losing to the Washington Nationals or the New York Yankees losing to the Tampa Bay Rays. Neither of those things happened. We ended up watching the New York Yankees game and the Red Sox game. Like, we watched the end of the Yankees game because it was 0-0 going into the ninth. Aaron Judge wins it for the Yankees, 1-0 final score, and we're like, oh shit, okay, well, there goes one of the opportunities. So then we turned it to the Boston Red Sox and Washington Nationals game, which was tied at 5-5, going into the ninth. And the Red Sox scored 2 in the top of the ninth. Of course they did. And so that only gave the Nationals. We became Nationals fans for like fucking half an hour yesterday, just going hard. And the Nationals weren't able to get anything going in the bottom of the ninth. And yeah, we were in my homie's car, and we were watching it on our buddy's phone. He was in data because we were off to play some baseball ourselves. And yeah, one up, one down, two up, two down, and one out left, and it was all over. And kind of fucking sucked because, I mean, we were right there, right fucking there. If we didn't lose this series to the Yankees, our second last series of the season, they took 2 games of 3 from us. If we would have flipped that and took 2, we would have had the tiebreaker game today. If we would have swept the Yankees, then we would have been in. Assuming that everything that happened in the last series happened, but I mean, this is all just hearsay now and just theoretical, because what actually happened is the Yankees advanced, the Boston Red Sox advanced. They are going to be playing in the American League wild card game on Tuesday. Being an avid watcher of the Yankees throughout my life, because they're always in the playoffs, I will be going for the Yankees. I know I get shit from some people sometimes for bandwagon jumping, because that is what it is. It is bandwagon jumping. But the reason why a couple of reasons why I like the Yankees. One is because my dad always liked them when growing up, and I was always watching them. And two, they were always playing like in the biggest games in the playoffs. And growing up, I never seen the Blue Jays make the playoffs up until 2015. At which point I was like in my 20s, still in my 20s, by the way, for the record. um, and well, I mean, they made the playoffs in '93 when I was like a baby, but obviously, don't remember that shit. So I always watched the Yankees in the big games with my dad and whatnot, with our dad, I guess. um, he's my dad. He's only my dad. No, but so they're playing tomorrow. Hopefully it's a good game, because I'm gonna be watching, obviously, and it sucks that the Jays aren't in it. But hopefully it's a good game. We set a lot of records this year. As a team, we hit more home runs. We set a franchise record for most home runs in a year. I think it was 259. Previous record was like 257. Might have been 259. And Marcus Semien, stellar numbers. Finishes the year with more home runs than any other second baseman in the history of the game, with 45 dingers on the year. And I believe, he was well over 100 RBIs, I think 107 RBIs. And there's still something to hope for and look forward to, and that's the MVP race. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 48 homers on the year, and a historical year. He's done things like he's put up records and had a season unlike any other player his age ever. He has had the best season statistically by any player in MLB history, 22 years or younger. So, to Vlad. I was looking at his stats, seeing the comparison between him and his father in their third MLB season. Fuck, and his father's a Hall of Famer. His father's in the Hall of Fame. In Vladimir Guerrero Sr.'s third year, he had 38 home runs, 109 RBIs, 202 hits, with a batting average of 324. So that's 38, 109, 202 hits, 324. Vladdy has 10 more home runs in his third year, 48 home runs, 111 RBIs, 188 hits, and a 311 batting average. So, freaking neck and neck with his father in their third season. His father was like a major contact hitter. He would hit everything. He was my favorite player because he was old school. He didn't have the gloves, and he would swing at like fucking pitches that would like bounce and shit, and hit him sometimes. Most of the time, when he would swing it like at a pitch, when he swung at pitches that were in the zone, he just threw the bat at him, and yeah, he would hit him a lot of times. His son Vladdy Jr. Bigger, more violent, heavy duty swing. So hence why he set the record for most home runs by a 22-year-old or younger with 48 dingers. Just the biggest fucking cuts, man. I love watching him at bat, and it's unfortunate I won't be able to watch him play until fucking March now. But all in all, the Blue Jays great year. Not just their hitters. I mean, Springer was injured this year. He still tore it up. Teo killed it, caught fire. Lourdes at the end was on fire. Man, there was so much good happening to the Jays near the end of the year in September. And it's just unfortunate that we couldn't carry that momentum going into the playoffs because I feel like if we did, um, we would have a bit of a run, at least because we were all hitting. But the fact that we were playing meaningful games down the stretch is it's all positive, and the fact that it gives our younger players experience. They've never experienced this before, playing in front of such a big crowd, such intense crowds. Because last year when they made the playoffs, it was a shortened season. It was only 60 games, and there was no fans in the stands. So, and we weren't even playing in Toronto. So, completely different, like vibe and whatnot than this year. So, the fact that they were able to get that experience, it's going to go a long way in years to come uh, with our young guys in our lineup. Just as good as our hot players in our batting lineup is our pitching staff. Shit. Robbie Ray might win the Cy Young. He better win the Cy Young. We might have the Cy Young winner, best pitcher, and the MVP on the same team and not make the playoffs.
That's crazy.
I don't know if that's ever happened, to be honest with you. Um when you have two elite players like that on both sides of the ball, that I mean, you'd think it would translate into a nice run in the playoffs, but fortunately, that's not the case for us. But yeah, our whole rotation from Robbie Ray to the kid Alec Manoa, his first year in the league as a rookie, um, to Steven Matz, kind of the unsung hero. He had a great year, and then our new addition Jose Barrios. We fucking looked phenomenal. Even Ryu, who had a bit of an off year, but still a consistent pitcher. Um, all five guys in our rotation should have been enough to get us in the playoffs, but there was a little bit of a stretch there, a couple different stretches actually, where our pitching was stellar, like the best in the league for a couple weeks, but our hitting couldn't do shit. Like we couldn't give our starting pitchers any support. And then there was a time where our like a week or so, 2 weeks, where we were killing it. We were putting up a bunch of runs on the board, but our bullpen couldn't hold it down, and we would give up leads late in the game. So all these things translate to not making the playoffs, right? Little things like that here and there, because all we needed was two more wins, two more, well, one more win to get in the tiebreaker, but two more wins to actually get in. And I mean that's why you play all 162 games, right? Even though our bullpen did kind of shit the bed for a small period of time during the season, still phenomenal numbers by Ontario's own Jordan Romano. That's our closing pitcher. He had some big moments for us, um, memorable moments. Tim Mesa, Trevor Richards, Adam Simber, pickup that we got this during the year, and then the kid Nate Pearson, who we were able to get into a few games and got some experience at the end of the year. This guy is like one of our brightest young stars. He throws over like 100 with his fastball, and the fact that he got experience in these big games, I think is huge as well. So the future looks bright for the Blue Jays. It sucks that I'm gonna have to wait till March to watch him play again, but the best baseball is still upcoming. The Red Sox, Yankees play in the wild card, the AL wild card. That goes Tuesday. In the NL wild card, which goes on Wednesday, it's the Cardinals and the Dodgers, which is I can't believe the Dodgers have to play in a wild card game when they've won 106 games this year. 106 game winning team, and they got to play in a 1 game playoff against the Cardinals. So That's going to be must see on Wednesday as well. The winner of the Yankees Red Sox play the Tampa Bay Rays in the ALDS Best of Five series. That goes on Thursday. White Sox and Astros are the other two teams in the American League Division Series. The Atlanta Braves and the Milwaukee Brewers play Game 1 of their ALDS on Friday. And then the winner of the Cardinals and Dodgers wild card game go on to face the San Francisco Giants on Friday as well. So I kind of want to make some predictions here and see how well they go, and I wanted to write them down because when it comes to playoffs, at least in hockey, there was like a 10-year period, or not a 10, I'm not going to exaggerate like that, but there was like probably like a 6 or 7 year period where I called the playoff matchups and shit. Like not 100%, but I'm pretty sure I called like the Stanley Cup champion like for like 5 years in a row.
You're like EA Sports.
Yeah, about that shit. So out of the wild card game tomorrow, I'm going New York over the Red Sox. Dodgers versus Cardinals. You got to go LA. In the ALDS, White Sox versus Astros. Fuck the Astros, those cheating fucks. Even though they're the home team somehow. White Sox have a really good team. I'm going Chicago.
Betting on the White Sox.
Going White Sox, baby. Fuck the Astros, man.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, fuck those. Oh man. And then out of the Yankees, Tampa Bay. I'm gonna go Yankees. But actually, I think by the time we do another episode, I don't think the series are gonna be done. So I'll do my tentative picks now, and then I'll see if I want to change them in the next episode or some shit. White Sox, and then Braves or Brewers. I'm going Atlanta. And then Giants. Well, I'm going Dodgers. Yeah, Dodgers in the wild card game, and then it's gonna be Giants versus LA. I'm gonna leave that one open, but low key picking LA. So next time, without a doubt, when I check in on all y'all once again, we'll know the outcome of the wild card games at least. Excuse me. So we'll be able to determine if I'm right on that, and who knows if one of these ALDSs goes like is a sweep, then we'll know some of my predictions by then. But I'm gonna do some more predictions on the next episode. But I'm going New York Yankees over the Red Sox in the wild card, and I'm going the Dodgers over the Cardinals in the NL wild card. Mark it, seal it, send it to the bank. My favorite time of the year coming up. MLB playoffs. It's obviously better when the Jays are in it, but MLB playoffs. NHL is coming back. Oilers season starts soon, which we may as well get right into. Big news for the Oilers. Josh Archibald, that tenacious little motherfucker. He's out indefinitely with a heart condition.
Whoa.
Yeah. So this is a great opportunity for some of our some of the players we obtained in the off season to kind of fill some gaps, and this will really show how deep our team is just to start the campaign. Archie, I love the way Josh Archibald played last year. Oh man, he just for a tiny guy, this guy would like go into the corners, go in front of the net. He would play so hard, play intense. He wouldn't get intimidated by any of these bigger dudes on the ice. And yeah, he was the tenacity within the little fucker is impressive. So when I heard that news, I'm like, oh no way, that fucking kind of sucks. But the Oilers are about halfway through the preseason schedule. As of right now, they're losing against the Flames 3-0 downtown here at Rogers Place. They beat the Jets on Saturday 4-2. And then on Friday, the Kraken beat them. I think that's when we last checked in. But we have just 2 more preseason games after this. and then it's the real deal on October 13th. I'm hoping tickets are still available because I'm going to go to that game. It's funny, we play the Canucks 3 times in a row, 2 preseason games, kind of warm ups before the actual game, which takes place here in Edmonton on Wednesday, October 13th at 8 o'clock. Well, there's 2021-2022 season opener, which is at home here at Rogers Place. So, go Oil. In other NHL news, I was just looking through the feed and whatnot. Vegas goaltender Robin Lehner kind of went on blast on Twitter over the past few days, putting out not some accusations. Well, I guess they are accusations, but basically he put out some tweets throwing some not specific organizations, but the NHL as a whole kind of under the bus. I don't really like the way he did that on Twitter, but basically what he said, the main one was that a lot of these teams, there's a lot of teams that give their employees, maybe some players, benzos and Ambien on flights and whatnot. Right?
I mean, flights.
Yeah.
Just flights.
Just flights. Yeah.
Benzo, yeah. I mean, if anything, those are going to negatively affect you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that he went on Twitter to do this, I don't know. Like, you can go to the NHL. There's other ways to approach something like that. And why? I don't know why. I heard that Gary Bettman, the commissioner, reached out to him. They had a discussion and whatnot. But, yeah, it's just kind of weird that he would go on Twitter and just, like, put that out there. That, oh, yeah, there's a lot of teams that fucking give their employees Ambien and all this on flights and when they travel. It's like, okay, so what? He's like, I think a doctor should be doing that one. It's like, okay, yeah, well, it's not your fucking business, man. Like,
yeah, just say no. Why do you gotta?
Yeah.
If other people want some Ambien to fall asleep on a plane, what's that to you?
What's that to you?
Yeah, like
I know it's a little rat style. I think. Like,
I'm usually one that's like not for that kind of stuff, but I mean, like, it's Ambien, man. It's Ambien. Like, yeah, like whatever. It's not prescribed, but if you don't like it, don't do it.
That's right. And there's no need to fucking put other people on blast. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like what do you gain from it?
Yeah. If it makes you uncomfortable, go talk to the coach. The coach does nothing. Go talk to someone higher up. They do nothing. Go talk to HR.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't
go to the NHL
don't
or
go
something.
to the public. I don't know. That just seems I don't
it's a little sketchy. Like yeah, who does that, right? So there was some other he kind of actually name dropped Alain Vigneault, the coach. I think he coaches the Flyers right now. He coached the Canucks before and a few other teams. And he specifically called him out, saying he had his own way of putting it, but essentially that he thought Alain Vigneault was mean to his players.
The coach.
The coach, yeah. He's a fucking coach, man.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't take it. Go home.
I imagine sometimes they're not very nice.
Right?
The coach.
Especially after a fucking loss or something.
Yeah.
You want fucking rainbows and fucking fairies after a big loss or something? No, man. These coaches are there for a specific reason to motivate their players to get the best performance out of the players.
I'm reading he called him a dinosaur.
Oh yeah, he called him a dinosaur, and he said he kind of verbally like was aggressive to some players or some shit. It's like, oh my god.
Again, like go talk to someone about it internally, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or talk to him.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't put him on blast on fucking Twitter.
Yeah, super weird.
Come on, dude.
So is this guy's still on the team?
He plays for the Vegas Golden Knights, and when he mentioned the Ambiens and the benzos, he said Vegas doesn't do that. And but yeah, he's a goaltender for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's had some success. He's no superstar or anything. I just don't know why he would put out a series of tweets like that, just kind of out of nowhere before the season. Like, the motivation behind it is somewhat baffling to me. because it wasn't just about the one specific subject. Like I said, he name dropped Vino and was kind of just saying a bunch of different shit over a few different spectrums. So I don't know what he was trying to get at or what his goal in doing it was, but not a move that I advocate or really appreciate. See if there's any. Let's NHL. It's just preseason in the NHL, so I mean, there's nothing too significant worth mentioning as like far as scores or anything. Just yeah, Archie's out indefinitely with a heart condition, so we're gonna have to obviously fill that hole. And oh yes, so right before we started recording here, I seen this fucking this post where the Olympics are happening in February, right? So October,
The
November,
Winter Olympics.
October, November, December, January, February.
Where at?
5 months away. It's in China, Beijing. Right. I feel like I should know that. So I'm pretty sure it's Beijing. Right, 2022 Olympics, Beijing.
It is. Yeah, Beijing. You're right. 2022. There we go.
There we go. Yeah. But anyway, so it's 5 months away, and as we all know, the NHL is finally sending their players back to the Olympics because they actually reached a deal. There's time put away for that in the NHL schedule. There's a few weeks away.
Since then, what did they do before?
When the NHL players weren't going, they would have to pick players from different other leagues.
So we must have done way worse then.
Yeah, it wasn't the best on best.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why it's huge news.
But then that also means like some of those Scandinavian teams that have
these
NHL
other countries
players.
had a better chance.
Yeah,
because the playing field was a little more even.
But they have NHL players too.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Some of these countries. Well, actually, all the countries that qualify for the Olympics have at least one or two NHL players on their team.
Okay.
But 5 months away, and we already have the first players to be named to the team, to the roster already.
Ooh, nice.
There's 3 of them. I'm sure most of us can guess 2 of them. Sidney Crosby.
Of course.
Connor McDavid.
Oh man,
Gonna play for Team Canada in the Olympics.
Nice.
With Sid the Kid.
That's so
dude,
exciting.
we've all wanted to see them play together.
Oh yeah.
It's never happened before at a level like this. This is gonna be fucking crazy. And then from the Golden Knights, Alex Pietrangelo actually was also named to. He's played for Canada before too. But it's crazy that these players are so elite and undeniable that they don't even have to try. Obviously, don't have to try out for the team or
No,
nothing, right?
of course not. Yeah.
But they're named like that before the season even starts. Like, hey guys,
Yeah.
you guys are going to the Olympics in February.
Oh man, it's gonna be so exciting to see
It's gonna be
Connor in red.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be the timing of the games and whatnot. It's gonna be weird because it's overseas again, as the Tokyo Olympics were. So you're gonna have games like in the morning and shit, right?
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, kind of a thing.
I feel like we had something similar like that when we were kids for Winter Olympics. We just watched it during school.
Yep. Yeah. Salt Lake City, I remember that happened.
Yeah.
That was obviously in North America.
Yeah.
But they do. It depends. Like the Olympics, they don't necessarily play their games at prime time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a worldwide thing, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. I wonder like when you finally get down to it, some of the championship games, if we're like anywhere in them, hopefully. I'm feeling we have a good chance.
I think we have a good chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine just like, well, the whole country's going to be up at a weird time then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the whole country.
Yeah.
Because
it's going to be a holiday for most places.
well, it will be. It will be.
Yeah.
Because I remember in 2016, was it 2014? I was hearing stories about like camp jobs and whatnot. they would shut down and like play like in like the theater room for everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. Like the work would like halt for a second.
Yeah.
That one specifically was in the morning, like 6 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
It was the Sochi games. Yeah, it was 2014. Yeah, 2014.
Well, I mean, everyone's gonna be on their phone anyways the entire time,
Yeah.
right? Like you're not gonna be productive. That's just like a good morale boost.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
You go to work, you're fucking feeling on top of the world if you win the game.
Yeah.
So that's big news there. Connor McDavid is going to be playing with Sidney Crosby at the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. So that's going to be huge.
Those kick off the 4th of February.
4th of February, 2022.
Wow, that'll come faster than you even know.
Oh, it will. Fuck. And I like how we're doing this podcast because it kind of just shows the progression.
Yeah, one thing rolls into the next.
That's right. And
you got some fancy facilities I'm looking at on there.
Well, dude, they had the summer games in 2008.
Right.
So they still had a lot of the infrastructure, right? Actually, it's kind of crazy that they host 2 Olympics within like 20 years of the last.
Yeah.
Which is it's actually fucking nuts. But they have the infrastructure. That's probably one of the reasons they were able to win the bid. But yeah, go Canada, go as always.
Maybe it'll be finally with the established infrastructure, finally not like a shit show like these past 4 Olympics have been.
Yeah, well, it always kind of is a shit show because, I mean, you're never gonna get it like perfectly efficient. You got thousands of people coming from.
That's true.
All over the world.
And who knows where we'll be with COVID at that point.
So. Oh yeah, I know, right? Exactly. I mean, this Tokyo Olympics, I'm glad they were able to do that.
Yeah.
Because when I heard it got postponed and the fact that it might get canceled if they weren't able to do it this year, man, I felt so badly for the athletes, man.
Right. Yeah.
Once every 4 years and then you get one canceled, that would have been devastating. So I'm glad they were able to fucking actually.
Yeah. Well, 4 years is like can change. Everything can change in your life in 4 years, right?
Everything can change in your life in like a split second.
Yeah, exactly. So for some of these young athletes, if something changed in those 4 years, you know that.
I'm sure it did happen even in that 1 year that it was delayed.
Yeah.
Some athletes that were going to go into 2020 weren't able to go maybe this year, right?
Yeah.
So, hopefully we don't get any major setbacks like as a global society to have to delay the games this time because that would suck. So
no wars, no new pandemics,
please, yeah. That's all we ask.
Ruin this podcast.
Yeah, exactly, right? Just have no sports to talk about. That would fucking suck. Well, I mean, like if we were to start this, we obviously started it at a good time, right?
Yeah, coming out of it.
But can you imagine if we started it before the pandemic and then the pandemic hit and then try to do one about there was no sports going on for 3 months, 4 months.
Just like once a week, one sports news thing happened. So this guy said this.
Yeah.
That's it. Still no sports, folks.
Yeah. Holy fuck. So at least hopefully we're trending back to somewhat normal. I mean, it'll never go back to normal, but that's for other podcasts that you listen to. So, CFL, halfway through the season.
Halfway already.
Yeah, it's only a 14-game season because they started late.
Right.
Yeah, and but we're already we're halfway through. Don't look too good, man. Our Edmonton Elks we're 2-5. We're at the basement of the West Division, and it's not out of reach yet. We still have 7 games left, but we obviously have to have a winning record, at least a winning record to even get close to the playoffs. Like we have to go. See, we started 2-5. We probably have to go realistically 5-2.
Right.
Because what happens in the CFL is the winner of each division wins the division. They get a bye, meaning they don't have to play the first round of playoffs. It's the teams 2 and 3 that play in the first round, and then the winner goes and faces the first team. So the BC Lions are 4-4. They're in the 3rd spot in the West Division. So they're 500 club. We're 2-5. Like I said, we're gonna. I mean, if we go 5-2, we'll be 7-7 for the year, and that's what the lines are at right now. So I mean, next week's a must win. I'm going to be honest. I haven't been watching much Elks. I'm fucking busy during the weekends, and also they haven't been playing that well. So it's not like I've been missing a lot. I would just be disappointed if I watch them week in and week out. But hopefully they turn it around, and we're able to make a little bit of a run, play some meaningful games into November. We're playing into November, I'm pretty sure. And
that's crazy. When is the
Grey Cup is played this year? It's going to be played for the first time in December.
What?
In for the second time ever in CFL history.
Aren't all those stadiums outdoors?
Yeah, everywhere but BC is outdoors.
Oh my god, you get people coughing up a lung.
Man, I remember when I went to a playoff game in Calgary with Richard, and it was winter. It was winter.
Oh my god.
Oh, I gotta take a swig before this story because oh my, there's some shit that happened at this game. Okay, so like first quarter, me and Richard are sitting down. This place is packed. We're obviously going hard for the Eskimos. We're like going hard, right? Playoff game. We're cheering loud. We're going off. And there's this old fuck behind us that starts like getting mad with Richard and shit. And Richard's like, "Shut up! Like fuck you, this and that, right? Like be quiet."
Like a Stampede fan.
A Stampeder fan.
Yeah.
And Buddy's like, he's like an old man. He's not like an old man, but like probably in his like I don't know 50s or 60s, and I don't know. He's probably a little buzzed or something. But for some reason, he's like trying to show off his like Grey Cup ring. He's like, "Look at this fucking ring!" Like, boom. It's like, okay. Richard's like, "Get that shit out of my face! Like, get the fuck out of here! Like, leave me alone!" Right?
Yeah.
What ended up happening is I think he ended up like pushing Richard or something, or like grabbing Richard.
Yeah.
And like kind of wrestling him to the ground. And then Richard's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Right? They played it off because my boy Richard looks like he's like 12. He's like, "Yo, I'm like 14 years old. You just assaulted a 14-year-old kid." Right? Security comes down because some other people were like, "Oh my god, this old man's like beating up this fucking kid." Right?
Yeah.
Security comes, like we could have fucked Buddy up, but we didn't want to get kicked out. Right?
Yeah.
Security comes down, and the most fucked up part is we're the ones that had to fucking move.
What?
Yeah, we had to go fucking move to a different section, even though Buddy was the culprit. And the shit starter.
Yeah, we're good.
And yeah, like it was so fucked up. So that was in the first quarter. Keep in mind, this is November, so everyone's bundled the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
That's where I got that green and yellow hoodie. I went to the mall before the game to try to find any Eskimo shit. Nothing in Calgary, right? So I grabbed a green and yellow hoodie, right?
Yeah.
From Sport Check, the closest thing I could. Anyways, that wasn't even enough. I was fucking freezing. I had a layer on underneath, but it was so fucking cold. So I would go, like, you've been to Commonwealth Stadium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, like, their concourse, and there's a section where it's heated and whatnot in the winter.
Well, I've only ever been in the summer.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's one big, huge section that's heated. Their bathrooms are heated and everything, right?
Yeah.
McMahon Stadium in Calgary is a piece of fucking shit. I've been to high school football places. I can't even call them stadiums. Where high school football athletes fucking compete that have been better conditions than McMahon Stadium. So I go to the concourse thinking I can find somewhere to warm up.
Yeah.
The concourse is not heated.
None of it.
People are serving beers and popcorn. They're fucking bundled up in gloves and shit.
What?
You could see their breath and dude, ghetto garbage. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go to the bathroom. At least the bathroom will be heated, right? Yeah. I stand in line for like 20 minutes to get in the bathroom. There's no heat in the bathroom. Could you imagine taking a shit in like minus fucking 15?
Well, how does any of their shit work with their pipes or anything?
I don't know. Maybe insulation, I guess.
Jeez.
I don't know. I'll never forget it. And then
gotta be heat somewhere.
There's gotta be somewhere, right? Like, what about the broadcast booths? Do these guys gotta be bundled up too?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a rogue fan here. Yeah, seems to be an Eskimo fan. How he's dressed, and he's breaking the glass. Security! Get over here!
I'm just cold, man. I'm just cold.
Bunk ass stadium here.
No heat. Ass stadium. And I remember, like, I used to live by there in Calgary when I was working down there, and I saw her drive by there every day at work, and I always look at it like, piece of shit stadium.
Yeah, put some heaters in.
Like, come on.
Yeah,
just so bunk. Like I said, the most hurtingest stadium I've ever in any sport of anything I've ever seen or been a part of. Like fuck, Remax Field is better than that. Or
Is that the stadium at like Stampede grounds?
no,
No,
yes, no,
I don't know.
no, it's not. No, it's not. No, no. The Stampede ground is the Stampede grounds are around their hockey arena, the
Oh,
Saddle
okay.
Dome.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Penn,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Penn Growth Saddle Dome used to be called Scotiabank Saddle. Scotiabank has everything now. But their football stadium is like northeast ish. It's not like right downtown. But yeah, hurting Mansfield. So with that, yeah, go Elks, go. And I mean, hopefully we can make it interesting because when it comes down to the stretch, if we do make it interesting, I'm gonna be watching more CFL. But a lot of shit happened in down south in the NFL. Was it week 4, week 5 just happened, and your boy Tom Brady still doing Tom Brady things. The guy's like fucking mid-40s, still doing Tom Brady things. He passed Drew Brees for the all-time passing record. And the craziest thing is, he did it against the New England Patriots. That's
Wow.
like when I said this to the homies over the weekend. That's like when Wayne Gretzky got the record for all-time goals in Edmonton when he was playing for the Kings. He did it in Edmonton. Tom Brady went and did that at Gillette Stadium in New England. Legendary,
Yeah.
man.
Just a confused audience. Like, I don't know how to feel.
I don't know how to feel about this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude. Oh man, the greatest. You can't script that shit.
Wow.
Not only did he pass Drew Brees in all-time passing yards, but he also became only the 4th quarterback in history to defeat 32 different teams.
Wow.
Dude, he's beat 32 different teams. There's only 32 teams in the league.
Just beat them all.
He beat them all. Because the final score was 19-17 Bucks over the Pats. When he beat the Pats for the first time there, yeah, he became only the 4th quarterback in history. The other 3 were Brett Favre, Peyton Manning. And I told myself I wasn't gonna forget this. Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and I think it was Drew Brees. No, Drew Brees. No, not Drew Brees. Fuck, there's only I tried to memorize it before this. Favre, Peyton Manning, and then another legendary quarterback that we all heard of. Can't believe I fucking forgot it. But yeah, to beat 32 teams, that's fucking crazy. Like that doesn't happen. Also, that game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New England Patriots, Tom Brady's return to New England, had almost 29 million viewers, which was like the highest viewership of any Sunday night football game in like a decade. Dude, like the amount of people, almost 30 million people watched that game. That's like the population of Canada almost. That fucking just watched a football game. It's crazy, and it's 28.5 million people. The sports junkie right here. I wasn't one of them. I had some shit going on. I was playing baseball. I mean, we don't get that much summer here in Edmonton, Alberta, and we don't get much daylight at this time of the year either. So we try to use the most of it. And when you try to get a bunch of adults together that have to fucking work for a living, it's hard to do it on every other day or whatever. We got to do it on Saturday, Sunday. So that's why my weekends are filled up. But as the light winds down, the more football I'm going to be able to watch and give a little bit clear, more concise insight on the CFL, the NFL, American football, we'll call it. The NBA just started this weekend. The Raptors won tonight against the 76ers, 123-107. Our beloved Kyle Lowry suited up for the Miami Heat for the first time. Mr. Toronto Raptors himself. He's gonna have his number retired in Toronto for sure. He helped us win a championship a couple years ago, and he will always be beloved by the Toronto Raptors faithful, myself included. He was with us. He was. Everyone says, and I agree, he's the greatest Raptor of all time. His stats speak to that as well. His tenure here and the fact that he brought us a title. Help us win the championship in 2019. He will always be loved by not only the fans in Toronto, but the fans all across Canada. And I wish him only the best. Hopefully, we don't have to face Miami or anything like in the playoffs or anything, because that'd be fucking rough to have to fucking watch Lowry, watch us have to beat Lowry or Lowry, turn it up against us. So we talk about more NBA in the upcoming episodes, obviously, as their season ramps up as well. The Raptors, I don't know, since the championship, we kind of just been like that, just kind of going, not getting better. Let's just put it that way. We haven't been getting better since the championship. But it's a new season. We all start with the same record. All 30 teams all start with the same record. So just win that first game and go from there, right? So before I get into this week in sports history, if you can believe it, I got an ad to read. This is for my cousin Amy and Greg's company. I think they do eavesdropping, they do siding, they do a lot, like pretty much everything as far as the exterior of our home. They're exterior specialists. They're called Cage Exteriors. The website is cageexteriors.com. That's Cage, Kage, Exteriors. Not only will they pimp out your house, for the local listeners, they're also actively hiring.
That's in Calgary?
That's out of Calgary. Yeah, sorry. Still new to this ad reading shit here. But just a little rundown on what they do. Do you want to work with an experienced and dynamic company? Finding the right expert at the right time can be tricky. That's why we've made sure that collaborating with us is straightforward and hassle-free. To start, you can find our results, our skills, and more about the range of services we offer on their website. Like I said, cageexteriors.com. Then when you're ready to discuss your project or just need a little advice and direction, get in touch with the team and we'll find the right solution for you. That's my cousin's company. Her and her husband, Greg, they're amazing people. I worked for them before. They're great to work with. They're super, super cool.
Nice little family business they got going on.
Yep.
Killing
it. And I love the fact that that they reached out to us to get them some solid workers. So if you're looking for work and you're around the Calgary area or you're willing to relocate to the Calgary area, they'll hook you up with work. Like I said, Cage Exteriors. You can holler at me on my socials to get more details. I have a phone number here if you want to call to inquire about either getting some work done on your house or employment opportunities. Greg Johnson, his number is 403-971-2523. Like I said, that's cageexteriors.com, Cage with a K. And Greg Johnson's number again is 403-971-2523. 825-825-2523. Give him a shout if you're looking for work, or give me a shout. I could relay the details, get you in touch, and yeah, they always have work, and I stayed with them back when I was living in Calgary for the first time. They were always working. They were always busy. So, like I said, if you want some employment that's with good employers and good people, Cage Exteriors is where it's at.
Thank you, Cage.
Yes, yes. Now, this week in sports history, big week. Just personally, in like history of sports when it comes just to me personally, because it's ironic that I just brought up my time in Calgary, because it was 4 years ago today. I was in Calgary for the first time working down there, and we went to the bar to watch the season opener of the Oilers versus the Flames in Calgary. And I'll never forget it because that was the first time I ever watched an Oilers game in enemy territory like that. And also, we were like the only Oilers fans in the bar. We were like sitting right up front. It was sick. Me and Amy, my cousin Amy, who runs that Cage Exteriors, we were in there, and it was so sweet because it was the home opener. All eyes were on the game, and our boy Connor McDavid scores a hat trick. Scores a hat trick in the fucking game, and me and Amy were fucking pumped. We're losing it when Connor scored that third goal. Dude, I whipped off my hat and like I threw it at the screen and shit, because it's like a big, like massive, like IMAX screen they have at Shanks where we were at. Yeah, it's like a huge, like 20 foot high screen, right? I'm like, fuck yeah! I tossed the hat, and yeah, it was fucking amazing. I'll never forget that, because not only, like I said, it was the first time watching Oilers game in Flames territory, which ended up I seen some other great games in Flames territory. I'm sure I'll talk about it in future episodes. But also Connor scoring a hat trick. I think we shut him out like 4-0 or something, 3-0, and so it was amazing. The shitty part was our season 4 years ago didn't turn out all that well. So I mean, it didn't count for much, that first win, but it counted a lot for me because being an Oilers fan in Calgary, watching Connor just like dominate them on the first fucking game, just felt so good. And then, oh wow, it was a year before that, 5 years ago. I thought it was a couple years prior to that. 5 years ago, the Toronto Blue Jays were in a wild card game against the Baltimore Orioles. I was just moving out of my place on Saskatchewan Drive. We emptied out the entire crib except for the couch and the TV, because we knew we wanted to watch the game. I still had cable set up there. So had a couple friends over to watch that game. Cousin Joel was one of them. So he'll never forget it. And it was a close game. And like, I don't know, about the seventh inning, I came to this decision. It was kind of out of nowhere, because I applied for this other condo downtown, and I got denied. I think like earlier that day or the day before. So I was kind of like in limbo as what I was going to do as my next move. Seventh inning comes around. It was like a close game. And I'm like, yo, if Toronto wins this game, fuck it, I'm going to go to Toronto and watch a game in the next series.
Yeah.
So I started looking up tickets, not only flights, but also game tickets. The game goes to extra innings, and I believe it was the 10th, might have been the 11th inning. Edwin Encarnacion comes to the dish. Can't remember the count, but I remember watching it. Boom! blasts it out of here. No doubt about it. Lifts up his arm, drops the bat. We go fucking crazy in my house. I almost start like tearing up and shit. I'm like, I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to Toronto. Yeah, we advance. We're all jumping around, just having a great time. Just, just loving it. Right then and there, I fucking, boom, booked the flight to Toronto. Boom, booked the ticket to game 4. I might have told this story briefly on the podcast. Luckily, I got there and I was able to get a ticket to game 3 that morning. The morning of game 3 when I got there, because it never went to a game 4. We swept the Rangers, Donaldson Dash, biggest sporting event I ever went to. I just barely got in. It was all meant to be, though. And it's all history from there, because that was my first MLB game, and I've been to 8 since, which is crazy, being from Edmonton, right? To go to fucking the 8 games. And other I guess sports news that's happened on this particular week in sport. 46 years ago today, Muhammad Ali knocked out Joe Frazier
Oh wow.
in what was dubbed the Thrilla in Manila, and that was their 3rd fight, and that was the end of the trilogy. And I don't want to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not sure if he actually knocked him out. But Muhammad Ali won in the Thrilla in Manila in the Philippines. That was 46 years ago today. Or not today, this week, October 1st, 1975.
Wow.
We've all seen that picture of fucking Muhammad Ali standing over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that black and white photo, iconic. The greatest athlete maybe ever of any sport, Muhammad Ali, with one of the biggest fights and one of the biggest boxing matches in history took place 46 years ago on This Week in Sports History. Appreciate y'all listening. This was a jam-packed episode. I had to obviously unravel the Blue Jays season as best I could in the shortest amount of time I could, or else I could be sitting here for 3 hours doing this. But thank you, Toronto Blue Jays, for having a great year and playing meaningful baseball at the end of the year. We had a great time watching the game. It felt like playoffs, and I know that this is only going to translate into some good things in the future. The fact that all our young players were able to get this experience. So I'm happy for that. Sad that we're eliminated, but that's sports for you. Excited for the MLB playoffs coming up. Next time I check in, we'll see if my picks, the New York Yankees and the LA Dodgers, are on point. And oh yes, gonna go see a homie tomorrow and see if when and if he would be down to be a guest on our podcast. Hopefully before the weather season starts, and that starts very soon. I'm going to do my best to get into the building for the first game of the year, and hey, one of the best times of year. This and springtime. October, I love October for October baseball and the start of hockey. Springtime, I love for playoff hockey and the start of baseball. Best times of the year. So until next time, I'm Josh Jacko. Shout out to my brother Caleb for putting this all together. And thank you all for listening. Like, subscribe, do all that shit. And talk to you next time.